So this is the first Mac Mini that I've bought in a little over 10 years, and those of you who've been watching this channel for long enough, you know that my last one didn't really have that happy of an ending. So let's hope this one's a little bit better. Giving you a quick look at the back, you can see that this is in fact the $600 baseline Mac Mini, and that is because this is going to be doing nothing other than running my Minecraft server. The reason for buying a Mac Mini to run that Minecraft server is because of the fact that Microsoft is dropping support for Windows 10 later on this year, and the computer that's currently hosting that Minecraft server will not support Windows 11. Honestly, even if it could, Windows 11 sucks. Let's go ahead and open up this little box. And there it is, right front and center right there. So we'll go ahead and set this off to the side for just a second and take a look at what comes with it. And it looks like we've got a braided power cable. Very nice to see that this is braided now, because if I remember right, on the last Mac Mini I had, it was just a flat rubber white cable. Do we get an Apple sticker? That's going to be the main question here. So it looks like we have a little quick start guide right here. I like that the first thing they point out is the fact that the power button is on the bottom of the Mac Mini. I don't really like the fact that that's where the power button is on this thing, but I don't know, maybe the same guy who came up with the idea to put the charge port on the bottom of the Magic Mouse was in charge of power button placement for this new Mac Mini. And no Apple stickers, as to be expected, unfortunately. I really wish they would bring that back. I guess we should actually go ahead and take this out of its little packaging too. There she is. This does actually feel like a very nice cable. Now, I've seen these at the Apple Store quite a few times, but I've never actually really held one without it being tethered down, you know, the way Apple has them at their stores. Very lightweight. It's really not all that much bigger than an Apple TV, and I like the fact that there's actually some ports on the front here. Apple very rarely puts ports on the front of their desktop computers. Let's go ahead and get this wrap off of it though. Looks like I accidentally tore it, but whatever. And there she is, and there's our glorious power button placement. I just really there was no room to put it back here in all this dead space. I really don't understand the idea of having it on the bottom. Front I/O, it looks like we've got two USB-C ports, a headphone jack, and a status LED, which is cool to see that they kept on the Mac Mini. And then around the back, we've got our power, our gigabit Ethernet, HDMI, and 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports, I believe. Now, if you were to buy one of these Mac Minis with the M4 Pro chip, it would have Thunderbolt 5 on it. However, I just bought the normal M4 because, as I said, this is just going to be running a Minecraft server that not that many people have access to. It definitely looks like an Apple product. Shiny silver brick of aluminum with the Apple logo on top of it. Still really weird seeing I/O on the front, though. I don't think they've ever done that on a Mac Mini before this generation. We gotta get this thing set up, but it's not a laptop, so I gotta plug some sort of a screen into it. Oh, look at that. Oh, all right. Wow. I bet you guys haven't seen something like this in about 10 years. I bought this Thunderbolt display for a project that's coming up in about a month or so, but we're gonna go ahead and use it today to set up this Mac Mini. We gotta get the fancy little $50 Thunderbolt 2 to Thunderbolt 3 adapter, plug the screen into that, and then we can go ahead and plug this right into the Mac Mini. Just like that, and it should work for us as soon as I get this plugged into power. To turn this Mac Mini on with the power button on the bottom, you actually have to lift it up and do that. And there's our Mac startup chime, so we're off to a good start. I'm gonna go ahead and select English for our language here. United States for the country, of course. Skip our accessibility features, and we'll go ahead and get this on the Wi-Fi. Oh, does it not have Wi-Fi 7 support? That's interesting. Okay, we'll go ahead and throw it on the 5 network for now. We do not need to restore from any backup, and we're also gonna skip setting up an Apple account. I may set up an Apple ID later that's separate from my personal one to use with the server, but for right now, I think we're just gonna leave it completely not tied to the Apple ID thing. Account name, full name, DaSamNudge. Account name, DaSamNudge. Oh, Apple Intelligence, what a huge letdown that was. All that hype built up just for it to suck as much as Siri already did. And there we go, welcome to Mac. I do really appreciate how quick and easy Apple makes the setup for macOS. So it did actually end up picking up my 6 GHz Wi-Fi 7 network. I'm really not sure why it didn't see that during the setup process, but what we're gonna go ahead and do is hop over to Safari and run a speed test, just because I'm curious what kind of speeds you can expect to get from the Wi-Fi card in this thing. Okay, yeah, that's decent. That ain't bad. Now, we are in the basement and the Wi-Fi access point is all the way upstairs. Usually when you're closer to it, you can get closer to the full 2 gig that we have. So the last thing I'm really curious about that's pretty irrelevant, but I do want to know what the speaker in this thing sounds like. So right now we're playing it through the Thunderbolt display speakers, which for its age actually don't sound half bad. Take a listen to this. Definitely not too bad for a monitor from 2011. All right, let's go ahead and switch that over to the internal speakers here. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I didn't really expect it to be super good, but it sounds pretty much identical to how the speakers sounded in my Mac Mini that I bought way back in the day. You know, I think this does get louder though. Think of your iPhone speaker except just a little bit louder. There you go, guys. That's really gonna be it for the unboxing and setup of this little Mac Mini M4 guy right here. As I said earlier in the video, I do have another project coming up pretty soon here that I've been wanting to do for a really, really long time. So if you're interested in that, come back in about a month or so, and I think that's about when I'll have everything put together for that. But until then, guys, that is gonna be it for this video, so I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, thank you for watching.